Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is another Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest manga chapter review. Before I talk about the recent manga chapter, I think I said on my last manga chapter review that the last chapter would be like the last chapter of the year. Boy, was I wrong. Only like 2 days from the new year, but one, I can just say, hopefully you guys had a great Christmas last week. Hopefully you guys got what you wanted for Christmas. If not, then maybe, you can move on and get something, I don't know, maybe later in the year. I'm referring to the PS5 people mostly, but yeah, but as well as Happy New Year. So yeah. Anyways, let's kick it off with this freaking manga chapter, which is the last Fairy Tail manga chapter of the year of 2020. And we are here to discuss chapter 72, which came out a few hours ago. Also, I'm making this video Tuesday night. This is going to be going up Wednesday morning, afternoon, however long this uploads to the channel. But man, what a freaking chapter. Man, we've had so many arcs in this series where our characters would get utterly blasted. And man, there would be moments in arcs where they get blasted, they get destroyed, they have to recuperate, get stronger, yada, yada, yada. Here, they get blasted. Like, they get absolutely destroyed. Our Fairy Tail crew get absolutely destroyed. It really started with the last chapter with Urza and Wendy, but with Lucy getting destroyed and the fact that, what Mimi says that apparently, she isn't strong enough. I'll talk more about that later as we get deeper into the manga chapter. And then what Hakune does to Natsu and Gray within pure ease, just within the snap of my finger, they're down for the count. They're done. The two of the strongest characters in our, selection of heroes and the Fairy Tail members are down just like that. Holy crap. These Moonlight Beauty gods, man, they hold no punches. That was insane. And when I was reading this, my jaw was literally dropping for every page. My jaw dropped completely when the Hakune scene showed up, where she utterly just essentially one-hit KO'd Gray and Natsu. That was insane. Anyways, this is Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, Chapter 72 review, and the chapter is titled Moonlight Beauty Gods. And the cover page essentially is what I just said a few minutes ago. Happy New Year, stuff like that. It says it's finally New Year's. Hopefully you enjoy next year even more. I know for the world's sake, hopefully we enjoy next year so much more better than this past year. I'm done with 2020. I literally am. We've had too many tragic deaths of very famous people. And obviously as well because of the pandemic around the entire world. I think it's time we move on to a new year, hopefully, which is better and brighter. So anyways, the first thing we cut into this chapter is we actually see Ferris and Toko. So we now finally see what the heck they were, or where the heck they were, and what they were doing. And essentially they're often like the wastelands of Elentier and stuff like that. And essentially Ferris goes on to say, or tells Toka, we need to go to Whiteout Temple, where the Whiteout Priestess lives. And they saw only a silhouette of the Whiteout Priestess, and essentially Ferris says that the Grand White Priestess might be able to help us. So maybe this person might be able to get our heroes out of this situation and maybe get them more accustomed to the Elentier world to get stronger. Now, we cut over to the Lucy versus Mimi fight, and essentially this is a freaking brawl, I guess you can say, in a sense, because man, these characters go at each other. Now, Mimi's getting the upper hand on Lucy, and she's just punching, swinging, kicking. You have Lucy just essentially dodging all of the attacks and stuff like that. Eventually, Lucy goes into her Aquarius star dress form. I did find it funny. Freaking Mimi's like, "Ooh, another sexy dress," which technically is the trend of Lucy because she has very sexy outfits. It doesn't matter where she goes and what outfit she's wearing. She has very sexy outfits. Lucy ends up doing Aqua Metra, and Mimi actually eats the freaking attack. Like, she eats the water and stuff like that. And I'm like, holy crap. Literally just took that move right out of Lucy's arsenal. She does this move called Immovable Fist, and essentially flows or pushes Lucy back. Now, also in this fight scene, you do get some shots from Lucy in certain areas, which are very revealing. Anyways, she's flying back. Lucy ends up freaking calling Ares to come, obviously help her and create the fluffiness. She uses Ares to start attacking in terms of making the fluffiness around, Mimi, I guess, bring her off balance, but it doesn't work. Now, an interesting point is Mimi says the girl can control yokai like Yoko, and stuff like that. So that was one interesting thing. And so anyways, as Mimi's essentially like, this is so nice, Lucy brings out Scorpio to do an attack, but then frickin' Mimi's like, yeah, that's not happening. She blows Scorpio's attack away with utter ease and essentially sends them away. Then Lucy calls out Capricorn, who honestly we barely see the entire series, but she calls Capricorn out. They get into a martial arts type of brawl and stuff like that. So, but the thing is, even Mimi is like, you got good skill and stuff like that, but you lack discipline. But then that's when she's like, wait, no, you don't lack discipline. It's your summoner who lacks experience and stuff like that. Now, Mimi goes on to say, you poor thing, if you had a stronger summoner, you would have been able to exert your strength to its fullest. So essentially, what it seems like Mimi is saying is, Lucy clearly is not strong enough for her spirits to be at a stronger level, which is very freaking interesting because we all know Lucy, she's the type of character when it comes to the fighting stuff, she's a side character, and she kind of uses her spirit skills to help her out with her own physical traits and stuff like that. And we do know there's a few times in the series where her celestial spirits do get outmatched from time to time. And it seems like it could definitely be based on her experience as a fighter, which could come into development of her potentially getting stronger and getting a greater power to increase her strength to make her spirits stronger and stuff like that. Now, Mimi's kind of taunting Capricorn by saying like, why do you want to be under her and stuff like that? But Capricorn kind of is like, it don't matter. I'll serve my lady to the fullest, or essentially serving her as a blessing, because let's be real, he's known Lucy since she was a girl because he was from because Capricorn was Layla's spirit at first. Eventually, Mimi attacks Capricorn, finishes off Capricorn and stuff like that. Now, Lucy asked the question to Mimi like, wait, my spirit's strength is connected to my power? Essentially, Mimi's like, well, who knows what that could mean and stuff like that. She goes on to say, but that is the case for my comrade Yoko. Her summoning abilities become the strength of the yokai she calls and stuff like that. And this is when Lucy starts to doubt herself, and she's like, even though I can summon my spirits whenever I want with all my keys, I'm still not good enough. She gets thrown back, and she's essentially down for the count. And her last thing is saying, my power is still weak. So I wonder, which is probably more than likely going to happen, we might dive a little bit more into Lucy getting a power boost of some sorts to make her stronger, which will only increase the strength of her spirits. It is an interesting point because we all know, like, listen, Lucy, yes, she's a great character, but at the same time, she's usually that damsel in distress character from time to time. Again, when you compare her up to Natsu, Gray, and Urza, unlike those characters who can go up with the higher tier characters, Lucy kind of handles the B to C tier character enemies and stuff like that. And we can see that Lucy here against Mimi is vastly outmatched. And Mimi's kind of like an upper tier echelon character. And obviously Lucy can't combat those type of characters. So I wonder if Lucy's going to get a point where she might learn a new ability to increase her strength in some sort. And it seems like we also probably might be getting a character development arc for her to find ways to get stronger. So that is pretty interesting. That's one interesting thing about this chapter that I like. The next interesting thing chapter is we all know where the Gray and Natsu versus Hakune fight happened. Hakune tried to essentially seduce them with fake fairy tale chicks, and then she ended up transforming into some very revealing badass freaking evil chick. And essentially, again, just like the end of last chapter, Gray and Natsu were struck by the magic power she's exerting and stuff like that. Now, Hakune does this move called Diamond Effect, and essentially she's starting to like literally freeze Gray and Natsu. Now here's the interesting thing. So Natsu's trying to activate his fire abilities, and it's not activating at all. Like, he cannot use his power at all. And even Gray is like, no way, my ice resistance is better than most. And I'm like, what the hell is actually happening? That's when Hakune says, my spirit arts freeze magic power. Freeze magic power. Curse power. Yes, the same curse power as the Tartaros guys were using. Spirit art and spirit arts, the things we just now learned. And indeed, any power that cannot be seen. So essentially, Hakune is a walking person who can essentially one-hit KO you without even doing anything or physically harming you. And essentially what she does is she freezes Natsu, Gray, and Happy frozen frickin' solid. And utterly frickin' just defeats them with ease. And I'm watching this, I'm like, oh. If Celine's little henchmen are this strong, how strong is Celine? That's what I want to know. My goodness. Anyways, you just have all the fairy tale characters, our heroes, down for the count. They are down. And it cuts over to Celine. And Celine's like, well, damn. I guess they couldn't defeat my moonlit beauty gods now, did they? Well then, I guess it wasn't that interesting. And then she makes a comment saying, I want to distort them more. Now, I don't know what she means by that, but she means like she probably wants to do something to them that might screw them up or something like that. She gets in contact with all the other Moonlight Beauty gods, and she essentially tells them, do not kill them, bring them to me, because I have a great idea that is cruel and essentially which will make a very delightful party. And that's where the manga chapter ends off, on that cliffhanger. And yeah, so our heroes are definitely in trouble. Apparently they might get brought to Celine. Now again, Ferris and Toka are gonna go to this great whiteout priestess. Maybe the priestess saves them, brings them back to their little base, and they eventually find a way to power them up. They're able to confront the Moonlight Beauty gods and then eventually confront Celine. That's what it seems like it's going to be going, I guess. That would be my ideal, my prediction on where the story could be going. But this was a really good chapter, like a really good chapter. You get the questioning of, the whole thing about Lucy not being strong enough to the point where it actually affects how strong her celestial spirits are. And the fact that these Moonlight Beauty gods, they ain't playing around. They literally, if it wasn't for Celine essentially telling them, bring them to me and don't kill them, they're probably all dead as we speak. They're probably gonna be on their way to die from all the Moonlight Beauty gods. But obviously, that's always a villain's mistake. Instead of just finishing the job off and killing the people that could get in your way, you want to toy around with them. Now, some people are obviously going to say, well, that's so freaking stupid. Why would the main freaking villain like freaking just let them try to live and just toy with them? Listen, it's with any type of genre, superhero genre, any other anime genre. The main bad guy of an arc usually gets overconfident in their abilities when they got the upper hand at that moment, and they lower their guard at some point, which makes the heroes come back. Because then what's the point of the story? These stories would have ended months ago if the villains went out that way. I know it's a freaking trope, but it's like, well, come on. You can't kill your main cast of characters. You can't kill Natsu, you can't kill Lucy, you can't kill Urza, Wendy, Gray. You can't kill them. Maybe, well, in the Alvarez Empire arc, there was some Fairy Tail members that should have died. I'll actually be doing a review, not soon, but when I get a chance to do that arc review, there were some Fairy Tail characters that should have died in that arc, as opposed to, you know, our main cast characters. But regardless, this was a really good chapter, a really good way to end the year off for Fairy Tail. So, you know, I guess I'll see you guys next year for the next manga chapter review, which will be manga chapter 73. So other than that, guys, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this, you know, final manga chapter of the year, or this week's manga chapter. Thoughts on the fact about Lucy, you know, strength impacting her celestial spirits. And then anything else you saw in this freaking manga chapter that shocked you, please put that in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Fairy Tail content. I'm doing, again, like I said, I'm doing the Fairy Tail manga chapter reviews, as well as I'm doing the arc reviews for Fairy Tail. I only have like 3 more arc reviews I'm going to do in terms of the main series, which is Tarros, that I have to get my notes and freaking complete that stuff to be ready to make that video. Then the Avatar arc, and then the Alvarez Empire arc. And then I'm also going to be reviewing the movies Dragon Cry and Phoenix Priestess. I'll be doing reviews for that, so look forward to that. As well as, really after that, that's kind of it for Fairy Tail content from the past. I know somebody in one of the comment sections suggested I do a tier list of my Fairy Tail waifus of the series. I might do that. Personally, I have a lot of waifus. I guess rank my favorite waifus of the series, or my favorite Fairy Tail girls of the series. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. Who knows, that might come out sometime next year. I could actually probably do that. I'll probably do that end up sometime next year, since it's somebody asked for the comment section. So if you want that, put that in the comment section. I'll probably end up doing it, but regardless. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here because it's late for me. But again, like I said, as you're seeing this video, it's probably the afternoon or whatever time you checked out the video. Whenever to upload it to YouTube. So other than that, hopefully, guys, have a great rest of your day. Hopefully, guys, have a great New Year's, and I'll see you guys in the new year for the next manga chapter review. So till then, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.